All right, guys, welcome back to Jack on Tracks and another episode of the Freemo build. This sounds like saying this again because I am. The audio died. This mic went dead. The audio died when I did this, and I did this side and that side. So I'll just talk you through what happened. All right. So what we did was we found our switches where we had our switches laid out. And I marked them somewhat and then made an adjustment. So these are held in place with these to line up where they're going to go, pretty much. And I put tape in here to mark the ends because we're going to be sliding the track. We're going to be doing the track last. The track's going to get put in here last. So, all right, so we have the track laid in place. These are holding them in the area we want them in. So I marked where the drop is for the frog lead to come up, and I marked the hole for the tortoise switch. I don't know if I'm going to use the tortoise switches. I got a couple of these from somebody for nothing, and they all work. He just didn't need them anymore. So basically, I drilled a 1/2-inch hole over here. Is it too big? Probably, but I'd rather have it too big of a hole than too small of a hole. I taped off the ends over here because when I lay in the cork over here, because I use the Alex fast dry cork to hold my tracks down. I like it. This ain't going nowhere. And then once this gets ballasted in place with the matte medium, it's not going anywhere. It pulls it in. It's tight. So that's what's going on with that. What I like to do also is I like to cover up, and I usually when I usually lay my track in anyway. That's going to go across there. I'll trim that up a little bit because that's a little much, but that's going to go across there. So when I lay this out, when I lay the cork in here, everything's going to go in. I'm going to be able to drop this back into place. Line these up. These are supposed to, these so far have shown to be 2 inches center line, which is the Freemo standard. We're going to weigh them down then and go from there. Then basically, we're going to do the same on that side. But what I got to do next is I got to put in the wire for the frog. So we're going to go over to the workbench and we're going to do that. All right, so give me a second, guys, and we'll move over to there. All right, guys, welcome back. Here we are. We got the 2 leads. I cut them. They're about 24 inches long. Way longer than I'm probably going to need, but I'd rather have too much than too little. And what we're going to do here is we're gonna solder these up. All right, let me tin these up. Even though these things are supposed to be pre-tinned, I don't know. It's got a nice tin job on it. And that's a nice tin too. All right, so now for this, we're going to go with a little bit of liquid flux. All right, hold on a second. I put a little too much. There we go. Got that tie a little bit. That's not what I want to do. All right, so I need to use the helping hands, but I'm going to use the helping hands because I have a set of helping hands. That's basically that. And then what we do is come in here, take one of the leads. And I definitely made these longer than they need to be. Cut it back. Solder got in that hole a little bit. A little more than I needed to. All right. Yeah, the solder closed the hole up a little bit, but that's okay. We got plenty of now we got plenty of room. All right, so there we go. And what I like to do I had to crimp that down like that. Have a nice connection. That's a nice tight solder there. We probably will come in there and probably clean that up a little bit, but that's about it. And then because I can also bend this down later on. It's gonna be, you're not gonna see it. It'll get covered up by ballast, and if it does go through, it is what it is. All right. Even though I am a bit of a perfectionist, we'll probably wind up bending it down to get it to hide if it's showing up. But there are options with it. So there's that solid connection, ain't gonna go nowhere. Later on, when it's on the layout, we might come back and have to put droppers in. But what I was hoping was going to work, was when I put the joiners in, I was gonna solder leads to the joiners, so the joiners would have pickup. So what I need to do now is I need to actually take a tie off of each one of these. Now, there's obviously more space than we need in there, but we'll make it up. We'll put ties in there and we'll cover it up when it's done, like we did the other ones in the previous video. So let's just get this one done. So there's that. There's actually a hole there too. I saw one guy actually solder to that. I have no idea how to do that. That's a little bit more fancy soldering than I'm capable of doing. So we're gonna go with that. And yeah, these Walter switches are actually really nice switches, and they're pretty solid. Sometimes I remember whose switch it was. Maybe it was a Micro Engineering. You kind of like flex the whole thing, which I did not like at all. So, yep. Let's go back to the layout, back to the modules, and let's glue these bad boys down. All right, guys. So here we are. I got the wire soldered on, as you saw, down the hole. Got everything taped off. Alex. Looks like it might be a lot, but it's not really, because I'm gonna really rub this in. Get good coverage. The key part of this is just lining up that hole. That lined up. I want that. That goes. That goes. Let's give this a good push down. You see a little bit of squeeze out. That's good. All right. Yeah, let that set up. I'm gonna go get the other ones of these. That'll work. All right, guys. So then, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take another. I got a piece of cork left over. We're gonna fit it in here. I'm gonna shove it in. I'm gonna fit it in there, and cut it to fit right. And I'm thinking about right here is basically where it's going to go down. So we'll get it nice and level and down. Like this is going to come at a later date. We're going to get this whole track laid in, done, and then we'll come back and we'll worry about this siding. But I'm going to get this piece of cork in there sometime, probably by the end of the video. Yeah, that's basically it. So I'm going to go do the other side, and then we'll come back, and then we'll start moving forward, because I'll be dry by then. All right, guys, we'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're back again. I don't know what's going on. I'm having microphone problems today. This thing is on now. Okay, so basically, I shot the video of me putting this piece in. Basically took a long section of one half of this with the beveled edge, and I shoved the beveled edge up against the inside underneath here the whole length, traced it out, used the ruler and the knife to trim this back. I don't care if this doesn't have the pretty little angle that the rest does. We'll work with that, because this is going to actually change over, and I'm going to do this in cinder. I kind of like the contrast between the two, so we're gonna go with that. This over here is for a later date. We're probably going to do something where I'm gonna lay in a piece. I have some of this more. I have definitely more of this foam. I'm gonna put a piece of this foam in here and sand it in, because there's a substantial grade difference. But what I did over here was my power drops. I soldered on to a set of joiners. This is all going to get soldered in, so I should have a good contact. I'm contemplating soldering everything in. I might not. I might leave this unsoldered, but that's for a later discussion later on. So I drilled 2 holes right at the end. I slid these in, and they're in. I lined everything up. I'm as straight as I'm going to get. So I'm just going to glue this piece in. Walters, you make great track. You got to make this a little tighter. The little flex end, you got to make that a little tighter. Just a little bit too loose. You're saying I left the tape. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to cut an inch off, and that tape will come out. So I'm going to let that set up, and when that's dry, I'm going to work tomorrow, so I'm going to try to get that done tonight. You don't really need to see a video on it. It's the same thing. We're going to move on. As you can see, look, how nice and clean it is right there. Look, nothing to interfere with it. Nice, clean switch. That's what I like to do it that way, and that's why I like to do it. I'm not worried about this not being glued down over here, because there's enough tension on this right now holding this in place. This is tight. This is glued in with tight bond. That's as tight as that's going to get. I'll make up this edge here using ballast. This is probably going to get trimmed back a little bit, but this is all going to get made up. And next is we're going to lay in this center section. That will probably might be the next video, but I think it's going to be the next video, because what we're going to do is we're going to lay this in, and I'm going to show you how I cut those, cut that centerpiece right there. So that'll be that. I'll put some pictures up of the 2 switches done, and yeah, you guys can take a look at it. Once again, guys, thanks for watching Jack on Tracks. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. I think it's over here. I hope it's over here. It's like right there. Something that's like JOT. Boom. Hit it. We just broke 400. Thank you very much. One of my shorts broke 1,400 views in 20 hours. I don't know how. It's really funny because it's not really the greatest short, but it works. The short that comes after is actually pretty decent because the actual train moving through. It's a pretty decent sized train. Looks good. Again, guys, I really do appreciate you guys watching, putting up my shenanigans, listening to my nonsense and my blabbering, whatevering. And as always, I'll catch you later.